Starting now.
Well, folks, this is the best show on Blog Talk and the best show on the internet. Shut up! Nobody, and I mean nobody, tackles issues like inflammatory talk. Shut up! And Mr. Midnight Movie, shut up! And Jewish producer, hello, son. Shut up! We tackle the things that nobody tackles. Hello, son. The man son. Hello, son. Stop walking on eggshells. Shut up! Hello, son. Goofy Bone can get off his bloviated fat enchilada ass and start talking about La Raza. Hello, son.
Jocking it. Pimp Daddy Joe Pete. Jocking it. Pimp Daddy Joe Pete. Whipping and skipping all day long.
We're making a movie about white guilt. We're going to examine all these facts. Shut up! The civil rights movement today basically protects criminals.
Okay, stop interrupting me.
We're making a movie about white guilt.
Okay, stop interrupting me.
Shut up! We're making a movie about white guilt.
Done in a beautiful fashion. The documentary, at the same time, both prose and poetry.
It's not the noble movement that it was.
I'm above you on all these issues. I've been to the military. I have served in the capacity to protect your rights to bloviate. To protect your rights to bloviate.
Who are you to tell me what my style is, you meth addict?
I've been to the military.
How do you know I'm a meth addict?
I'm above you on all these issues.
How do you know I'm a meth addict?
You haven't served in the military. In fact, you wouldn't be fit for the military.
I'm a racist, and I don't consider myself an especially evil person.
What's this got to do with the price of rice in China?
Well, I'm just telling you, I'm a better man than you are.
You're a narcissist. We've established that.
Okay, stop interrupting me. You could not defend the very rights you enjoy. You are the ultimate invalid.
I put stock in you.
I'm wondering why Mr. Solutions isn't on Eddie Daly's show.
What's this got to do with the price of rice in China?
Money. I'm into aviation. Money.
Power.
Money.
Power.
Man boob.
Shut up!
I see why Sick the Tank Daddy kicked his ass and kicked him out of the house early on.
Man boob.
Shut up!
I'm going to talk over you as loud as I can. I've got my speaker full blast to blow you away.
Shut up!
Mr. Midnight Movie.
My name is Delano. I have killed Mr. Midnight Movie. I stabbed that son of a bitch.
This is
Money.
Power.
Money.
Power.
tired.
Money.
Power.
Money.
Power.
Yes.
Yes.
Coming to you live from Los Angeles, California, the great inflammatory talk.
Yeah.
How's it going? We got Mr. Midnight Movie and me, a Jewish producer. We have a guest coming on later. What did we call this show?
I call this Bankcoin Reserve and Ruthie Ditucci.
Yes. And the next time you let any guest dictate when you start a show,
Yes.
I am smack the living hell out of you.
Yeah. Well, you know
No,
what?
you will not smack him because I will be in front of him, which means you will be smacking a woman.
Well, there we go. So you are fine. You are joining us. Took a little bit of
the show, Ruthie. Nice of you to join us.
Yes.
I kept telling him, Ruthie, start the show, and he's like, No, I don't want. I don't want to start the show. I'm like, are you? And then you know what he tells me? I just talked to Ruthie, and Ruthie said, start without me.
Exactly, and then I'll come in as soon as I have the opportunity.
So you understand where my fists will fly from.
No, you're not gonna hit him because it's perfectly reasonable.
He's much bigger, by the way. I would never swing at him.
I do business with Hong Kong. I do business with Mexico City. I do business with Australia. Those are on the other side of the planet. You know, two of them are on the other side of the planet. Only Mexico's next to me, and even that we're 3 hours different.
All wonderful places too.
Yeah, I work at night almost exclusively, and then I try to grab 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon, and that's how I've been living for 5 years to get this project going. So
I also have
nobody's fault. It's not like I'm putting you off. And then and then you saw we're giving away 500 graduate degrees. But because we just started it, I have to audit the classes. So tonight I was in the MBA class. You see my point?
So do you want to just for the people who are not that savvy or anything like, do you want to describe what, or can you do you want to describe what Bankcoin is?
Of course. When will we start? Are we on the air?
We are on the air right now.
Oh my word. And we were talking about physical altercations.
Yes.
My goodness. Seriously? All right. Listen, our show is called Inflammatory Talk. Mr. Midnight Movie and I have spent a lot of time. We drove to Vegas and back a couple weeks ago. If there was a better time for a physical altercation, it would have been then.
Yes.
Right? It just fun. We're actually much better in person working these fine points out. So,
absolutely. So yes. So Bankcoin. So yeah, just if you want to give us a brief or your best description of what Bankcoin is and what exactly it does.
It's a cryptocurrency like any other. The difference that it has is that it's defended or backed by 9 patents. We have 2 more, but we haven't released those yet. Mm-hmm. But right now they're public. Our patents are public, and basically it's a coin that's stable. It sits at the highest price of a troy ounce of gold in 2014, which was 1,375. And that was the price they chose, and they set it there, and that's where it's been for years. And while cryptocurrencies fluctuate, which is very exciting, they go up and down, and 3,000 down and 4,000 up. Oh my gosh, how exciting. Wow. Ours doesn't do that. Ours is a boring coin. It's stable for business. And one thing that people don't talk about is that those fluctuating numbers, when you're doing business, you can't just use a currency or a store of value that's going to be going up and down like that. You have to get insurance to cover the losses, the difference. And when those numbers drop, there's true loss. And we don't have to do that with Bankcoin. We don't have to get insurance because whatever price it is in the morning, that's the same price it's going to be at the end of the day.
So it is basically what you're saying is it is stability that makes this coin unique. It doesn't go high up and high down. It is primarily stable, and that is probably what investors would be looking for. They don't, because you could lose your shirt if things are unstable. So, and I'm paraphrasing here that it's a stable investment. Would you say that? Would you?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
it's not going. You don't have to buy insurance. I've seen in some cases where Bitcoin, for instance, I'll make a deal.
Yeah.
And in the morning, it's, I don't know, $11,000. And by 4:00 that afternoon, it's $5,000. Well, you've got to ensure that difference is met. And that's done by way of obtaining insurance. We don't have to do that. Whatever price we cut a deal at 9 a.m., it's going to be that number weeks later because our price doesn't fluctuate.
So it's
a wonderful store of value.
Yeah. So this is really because what I'm gathering is this particular form of cryptocurrency is a kind of it's not you're not going to get dizzying heights. It's something for the long run where where it's a safe investment. It's a much more safe investment than, say, the other forms of cryptocurrency.
Yes, it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to hold that stable price. It's going to hold that stable price. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now I've noticed that this is coming around all in its this, you know, I guess this coin is all over the world, and you've been talking to different countries, and what country is this coin like? Is this coin taking off in any particular country, or is there any country that's looking like who really has an interest in this coin, in this currency, or this cryptocurrency? I might add. Sorry.
Well, I'll give you. I'm very proud to say that I just leased my office space in Florida, and we're talking about the United States. And my lease was paid entirely in Bankcoin, not cash.
Wow. Yeah.
And I wouldn't accept the lease until it was signed and witnessed and notarized. Yep.
And so you're on up late at night dealing with people in other countries that are also working with this type of currency?
Yeah, it's not a type of currency. Right now, there's about 2,000 currencies floating around the world. And some take hold in some countries because that's where they're from, and others in others. Bankcoin Reserve came from Australia, but where it got going was in the ASEAN countries. Are you familiar with the ASEAN countries? It's not just China. The ASEAN countries are Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, the Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia, Myanmar, Brunei, and Laos, and Hong Kong always winds up on that list.
Can you mention what country? Because that's the first time I've actually heard that.
Heard the expression ASEAN. It's called ASEAN countries. ASEAN, ASEAN.
Is it? Because is it? I mean, is it the same as Oriental? I mean, or is it something? Because what exactly does ASEAN? And it just since it's the first time that I've heard that word, what distinguishes that? I know what distinguishes between Asia and Oriental countries, or countries in the Orient, but what does ASEAN? I'm just, that's the first time that I've heard.
That's just it's. Oh, you mean what is the acronym?
Yeah.
The Association of Southeast Asian Nations.
Okay, is it? And I could be. Is it more of maybe a political correct term? Because Southeast. Okay.
No. Relax. I'm going to send you the link.
Okay.
Because I told you I don't talk about anything unless I can prove it. Remember we said that?
Yeah. That's just the first time that I've heard that. You know, anytime I hear something new that's new, I want to learn a little bit more about it, and that's the first time that I've heard that actual term, and I may want to use that in a sentence to impress a lady.
I just sent it to the Jewish producer.
Yeah, no, I've been looking at that. I'm looking at it now. It's pretty interesting.
I want you to know what it is. And then, more importantly, if you want to know who is enjoying this cryptocurrency, well, it's actually a digital asset. It's not a cryptocurrency. It's a digital asset. Go to wyth.edu, wyith.edu. And there you will see
So it's not a type of currency then.
It is a type of cryptocurrency, but
Okay.
it's of the digital asset variety because it's not a currency per se. It can be used as a stock, as all sorts of things. For instance, in Asia, we're applying it to graduate degrees, and it was really cute. My colleague from Florida said, "Oh well, that's from Asia, and that's the Wesleyan University from the Philippines, and I'm only familiar with Wesleyan University from the U.S." And it turns out that each region has its own regents to accredit different colleges and universities in the different localities and counties around the United States. And naturally, in the last 20 years, in trying to get more students to carry degrees, they didn't make the students smarter. What they did was they lowered the bar. And even your finer universities have done that as well. It's not a coincidence that you go to a huge university and you find basket weaving. And that's a reality. That's happening all over the world. But of all of the Wesleyan universities and colleges in Canada and the U.S. and Central and South America, the third established was the one in the Philippines, and they're accredited by Oxford. So they have a very good accreditation, and they refuse to lower the bar. They refuse to lower the bar.
Because it just seems that many more people are getting degrees, and it's.
We're helping them. We're covering the degrees with Bankcoin, and it got to the point where it became such an important thing that, well, basically, Manulife, which is headquartered in Waterloo, Canada, they was it 10 years ago? Maybe more. They took over John Hancock of the United States. They bought them all. They merged, but basically it's not an even merge. Manulife, John Hancock, the American John Hancock Insurance, is now a subsidiary of Manulife out of Canada. And when you see what they've done, it's a beautiful thing. Manulife has actually stepped up. It's a worldwide insurance company, and they've created a beautiful insurance policy for people who want to help graduate students out, so that those digital assets, Bankcoin digital assets, can be held in a policy until a person or whomever, many people they want to help graduate, they hold those coins in a policy. It's just a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful support. It's wonderful support. They didn't have to do that, but they did that.
Now, does it matter what type of degree a student is getting to get?
Actually, it does, because we just started with MBAs and master's degrees and doctorate degrees in education. But now it was announced 2 days ago that we're going to take on more. I was so impressed that we're going to do all that. I love it. I love that we're going to do all that.
Because to me, a degree like in the STEMs would probably be the most, the one where you would get your money back, or like, a degree where they could basically, as far as a person getting a degree, it would be much more financially beneficial if they got a degree in the sciences as opposed to the arts, or even education for that matter.
Well, we're doing both. Okay. We're doing that. It's just that I was just so happy that it happened so quickly. They they floored me. They really impressed me. It happened so quickly.
Now, you also talked about the planetariums.
Oh yes,
and yeah, and
we are also sponsoring Portable Planetariums, which are playing all over the world, and they use videos with licensed music. It comes from John McEwen of the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. Why him? Because he's the owner of the Portable Planetarium video company's father. It's his father. And he's also my business partner in other projects. He's been my business partner, I think, about 12 years now. John McEwen has. And these videos teach about the universe and planets and the relationship between the Earth and the Moon and the stars. It's just beautiful material. And the students are learning about the universe, about space travel, rocket science, which is an actual thing, and incorporating all sorts of aspects of space exploration. And now you saw yesterday we had a rocket ship go up here from Florida, and it was payload for Israel. Israel's now the fourth country in the world to have sent something up. It's fascinating the way it's growing.
Now, and I was looking at the portable planetariums. Is it kind of, because as I'm seeing it, is it done in an because kind of an Oculus Rift kind of thing where they put on the glasses, or is it actual like a tent that they have that expands?
It expands. It looks like an igloo.
Yes, I see that one.
What I'm doing right now is I'm getting photos of it to pass them to you right now.
Yeah, because I'm looking too. They also have a portable planetarium where they just. Have you heard of the Oculus Rift?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. And
we're doing that. We're working on we have a beta test of that right now. We haven't released it yet.
Okay.
Give us time. We're working on that already.
Yeah. But it's and that looks. I mean, it's because it's right at your doorstep, and it kind of.
Here, I just gave you a picture. You see the picture?
I've actually and I'm looking at it on YouTube right now. The unboxing of the Portable Planetarium. Let me see if it's the same thing that I'm looking at. Let me see.
Yeah, and if you're looking at that, if it says Starlight Productions, that's the company that Aaron McEwen owns.
Mm-hmm.
He writes the videos, and he owns the company and the music. They can license it out, and it's basically all over the world. It's quite beautiful.
Yeah,
how this has progressed. It's the amount of countries. I'm just so impressed. The amount of countries involved. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, and it gets, I mean, a lot of times when you do those things, it gets the word out there. And, anytime you support knowledge, it's, really feeding the mind. And it's also a good way to show that, you're getting the word out there, and you're doing, you're teaching the young. And I guess, are these planetariums, are they just primarily for children? Are they for adults and everybody?
They're supposed to be for children, but adults keep crawling in. It's so cute. It's a wonderful education, great music.
Yes.
And one of the wonderful things that we're doing now is because we don't call it BCR anymore, because we have BCR, which is Bankcoin Reserve. We have it in 2 locations where we're doing very heavy studies. That's in Hong Kong at Wyeth Institute, That's WYITH at the Wyatt Institute.
Yes.
And then we're doing studies at the BIEX Cryptocurrency Exchange in Mexico City, Mexico. But at Wyatt, they're going to be accepted by several different study programs, not just the education program. And that's going to be launched by Wyeth.edu. That's WYITH.edu. It's very, very beautiful.
Well,
and Michael Johns, he used to be a speechwriter for President Bush, and then he became a lobbyist. He's a very intelligent man, and he's working with us now, and he's leading our, some serious projects. I'm not going to mention them because there's no point of mentioning them. You'll see them when they come out.
Yeah.
But then we have a full bird colonel that retired, and he's joined us, and he's actually going to be our speaker at the Space Congress in Florida in June, and he's going to be talking about Bankcoin Reserve, the digital asset from Australia, at the international panel. So we're very excited about that. It's a beautiful thing.
Now, did this current I'm sorry, what branch? Because what branch of the service? I'm sorry, you said full bird colonel. What branch of the service was this gentleman in? I guess
Army.
Okay.
Yeah, and he has seen the value, and he has seen how regular payment systems are being replaced by transparent cryptocurrencies and digital assets.
It's something with these planetariums that I think, because I remember being in something similar. It was a larger tent, but we think in pictures, and I think something like this could perhaps even be used to really enhance memory and the mind. Has Starlight, the people who do the planetariums, have they done anything beyond the planetariums, the production? God, I'm looking at the people who do it. Have they done anything? I would say like beyond that. The people who do the
yes, they have a Star Smart library for children.
Okay,
and they have branched out into different projects that help kids learn, teaching tools.
Yeah. Because, I mean...
Like, Newton's laws are perfect, Newton's, all sorts of science and wonderful stuff.
Yeah. I mean, because you can...
Science and mathematics, it's just wonderful what they're doing.
Yeah. Because I think you could, because I remember taking a memory course, and they said, we think in pictures, and they encouraged us to look at different types of pictures and just expand your mind. And I think this would be something that could kind of almost add on to it, and just basically add on to children's memory learning and enhance their learning as well, not just in forms of planetarium science, but also with many other subjects as well.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I don't know if Jewish Producer can pass you the links that I'm passing him.
Yeah, I'm seeing Starlab right now. The people who do the. Do you mind if I play real quick? And I'll put us. Do you mind if I just play real quick the Starlab thing? Let me share my screen with you, so I can. But do you mind if I play real quick the Star Lab?
I would love it.
Okay, why don't I just play that real quick? It's about 5 minutes. And, by the way, can you see my screen? Because I'm sharing my screen with you now.
Yes, it's beautiful. I see it.
This is Portable Planetarium. So, and hopefully they'll be talking. But it's showing the planetarium now.
There is the story of two teachers. The first teaches with this and gets this.
Okay, I want to stop there real quick. She says teaching with this, so she is showing a textbook. She's saying there's two teachers. One teaches with this. So what she's showing, I just want to be descriptive. She's showing a textbook, and so the next thing you're going to see is what the other teacher teaches with. So yeah, and a child having his head.
And the second teacher who uses this gets this. What is this? This is Star Lab.
And what's really interesting is the library.
Yeah.
Here, I'm giving you the link right now. I'm giving it to producer. See the link? That's the show. That's the Star Smart library that teachers can choose from. And people who run the planetariums, they're in over 80 countries and multiple locations in each country. And what I'm really proud of is that when the credits come up all over the world where these videos are playing, and remember they're playing 8 or 9 times a day, every day. And when the credits come up, you can see that it says Wife Institute, Bankcoin Reserve, my name, and our coin. So our coin is the last thing people see as the credits are coming up, which I'm very proud of.
So let me continue. Let me continue playing this real quick, and then they're putting together.
Looks like one of the things that you guys promote too is the Dinosaur Prophecy, where I'm only assuming you guys are discussing dinosaurs also.
But that's part of the evolution of the planets.
Yes. So let me continue to play this real quick. And then, if you want to stop it, if you want to say this is something here. But she's putting it together. This is a portable planetarium. And she's putting it together. And it, she has it in a bag. She's unpacking the bag right now. And she's putting it together. And let's just take a look real quick. And also, because many of you cannot hear, I'm gonna put a link to this show. I mean, to this YouTube thing, the Star Lab, into the chat box in the chat log on my show. So, but let me.
Where is the chat log? I would love to see it. Where is it?
Oh, I didn't send you a link to the show?
No.
You need to go to the show page. And
Give me the link.
All right, let me give you
it. Right.
You want to give her the link, or do you want me to do it?
You have it on your page right now. You started the show.
All right, let me give her the link. Let me give her the link real quick to the show. Let me give her the link. Okay, I'm gonna post that here real quick and give her the link. So I'm gonna give you the link to our show. Here it is. All right. So let me continue with the Star Lab video. And this is, like I said, it's a planetarium, and it's really interesting. And I think that there can be many uses for this kind of device, not only for teaching children, but also for teaching adults and elderly people who are forgetful. I'll go into that later on about my views on memory and what can be done to enhance that. But let me continue to play this video. So let's continue, shall we?
The StarLab is an inflatable planetarium. It is easy to use, it is easy to set up, and best of all, with its built-in curriculum, it'll make you a hero in the classroom.
The lunar eclipse is where the Earth gets between the moon and the sun, and you can see that the shadow that the moon casts on the Earth is actually very small because the moon is so much smaller than the Earth.
You will look like a know-it-all, even without trying. And StarLab rocks the kids' room.
When they showed all the stuff about weather and geology, I was just like, whoa.
I love discovering about the asteroids. When you looked at the moon, it felt like you were actually up in space. I thought it was cool whenever the moon came towards you.
Seeing all the planets and the constellations and everything. Mars with all its volcanoes.
I wish my school had one of those.
I wish our school had a star lab. All of our rivals do, and frankly, I'm jealous. All the highly rated schools have this. I want one.
I run a planetarium at a museum, and let me tell you, StarLab does everything our planetarium does. And the best part about it is the kids think it's way cooler.
I thought it was really cool. It was like we were in a movie theater, but you got to learn it too.
You can utilize your StarLab system to play full-dome movies. StarLab is a complete educational time machine. The cross-curricular platform was written by teachers for teachers. Your students will be immersed in the creation of our solar system, or taken 500 million light years from the sun. Your students will say, wow. StarLab is lightweight, durable, mobile, yet so transportable, you can even fit it into the trunk of your vehicle.
You can set up a StarLab in about 15 minutes. It's so easy, even kids could do it. Not that you should let them do it.
Some things you just need to experience.
All the students were just amazed at everything they got to see, the constellations, the moon, the sun, everything. It was just awesome.
I noticed a lot of the kids were asking questions, and intelligent questions.
One of the wonderful things that I saw opportunities for is the ability to bring in multiple disciplines in teaching. You could incorporate math, geography, history, as well as astronomy. So it gives a wonderful opportunity for...
You know, I wanted to mention what this person was talking about, the multiple aspects of teaching that you can have with this type of device, with what they call a StarLab. So, really interesting, and I don't know how much of it. Now, is this called StarLab, by the way? Are they? Is that the name of the company? Is that the name of the company?
Oh, yeah. It's one of them is called Star Smart University, and Star Smart University belongs to Starlight Productions. And they promote, it looks like an igloo, and any child, any student, any school or church or any organized group can sign this, call us in and say, I'd like to bring so many students on said date, and you look on the calendar and see if it can be done.
Well,
and there's Starlight Productions that makes the films. The other one is I See Stars. I See Stars, again, it's that's interesting because I See Stars is going to Kenya to bring coins to Kenya. Let me give you that link. That's very, very interesting, I find. That's a wonderful thing that here we go. Here you go. There we go. See it there? I just put it on your chat box.
So I have someone who is basically he's chomping at the bit to He's been calling me nonstop. He wants to add. The only thing is with him, I cannot hang up on him. I mean, like with the Skype call, I cannot hang up. I don't know if I can hang up on him or mute him, but I can add him to the call. Would you mind? This is a person by the name of One Angry Jew. Have you heard of this gentleman before, Ruthie? And would you mind if I brought him on?
I know him, and I like him.
Nice.
He knows me.
Oh, he does? All right, let me add him. Let me see if he's...
He's a friend of mine. I consider him a very a good blast from the past.
Really? Hold on, he's calling me on the other line. And okay.
I can say about him, he's just misunderstood.
I hope so. And I just... Okay. All right. Jeez.
Did he start saying something horrible already?
No.
Why would he say something horrible, Ruthie?
Yeah, he wouldn't.
How are you?
Do you know who I am?
Yes, One Angry Jew. I know exactly who you are. I'm Ruthie. You remember me?
I do remember you.
Yeah,
one of the most intellectual, refined people that listen to this show.
You're making my cheeks are getting red. I'm getting embarrassed.
Here we go. No, I was saying I was one of the most intellectual. Present company accepted, because their usual fare is not at your or my level.
Well,
it's so good to. They were saying, "Oh, we don't know. We're going to bring this gentleman on. Do you know who he is?" I said, "One Angry Jew. I remember him. He's a friend of mine."
Well, I mean,
worse.
One angry.
They were afraid to put me on, but
yes.
No, I will go on the air with him anytime.
Okay, we just wanted to warn you because One Angry. I mean, this show is called Inflammatory Talk, but he will add. Sometimes has been known to add real hardcore kerosene, and maybe not only kerosene, but nuclear bombs or hydrogen bombs to the future.
I know, and you encourage it because you like that. But I've also explained that the minute you
he called me and I didn't answer because I didn't think Mr. Midnight Movie wanted him on the show. So he did the right thing. He called Mr. Midnight Movie and got the okay. So good.
Well, I wanted to make sure, Ruthie, that you were comfortable with this gentleman.
And it turns out to be someone that I respect and whose company I enjoy. Isn't it great?
And I feel the same way, Ruthie. And I have a very big question to ask you.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Why are either of us on this show?
Well, you begged One Angry. You were calling several times.
Did as my point just pointed out.
Well, what I do sometimes is I will.
I know.
If Mr. Midnight Movie won't pick up, I will continuously call him, and I get joy just a little bit out of the fact that I can completely take him off his game. He forgets what he's talking about, and you can hear when he's watching the phone ring. He sees a different number. He doesn't know what to do. And his brain slows and almost to a crawl.
It doesn't work with me, Ruthie, but he knows how to get on our show. And that's good. Like I said, good on you, Jew.
Yes.
And what a coincidence that it's someone that I respect and someone who Angry Jew and I have been on other shows talking about homicides and different cases that I covered.
Yes.
And I respect him. He had the best questions, and where he used to be very much kerosene and all that crazy stuff with other people, when he was on the air with me, he was very much a gentleman.
Oh, do you know what? And there's a very good reason why that is.
I bring up the best, you know.
And it's, well, that too, but it's also evidenced in the fact, if you look at have you looked at their shows?
Yes, I have.
So you've seen what goes on in the chat room normally, because I was...
Oh, they tear me apart. Something wicked. Oh,
no, but I was amazed that tonight there was nobody posting in the chat room.
It was real quiet. I was trying to steer it up a little bit, but nobody really took charge.
And it's not so much that they...
Because you cleaned up the show and you have intellect, so now you have people listening who aren't going to just want to get on so they can say the F word. They want to get on because they want to hear the material. They want education. They want something of value.
Yeah, that usually stirs up the chat room now.
You're on a show, Ruthie, where the man plays farting sounds endlessly.
I know. I'm aware. I'm aware. And the work that I do is very, very hard, and I need a break to the silly world. And this is the silly world.
Yes.
So you find this to be slumming, as I do.
No, I said silly. I didn't say slumming.
Well, it's a bit slumming for me.
She did tell us after we got off the air last time we talked to her, she said that what she wanted to present was better than anything we had going on. So I do think you're right, Ju. I think she may covertly. I don't think she's rude enough to say something like that. But
and certainly I am. And I don't really know if I agree with throwing kerosene. Possibly bleach, because I am a bit of a clean freak lately.
Good for you.
Yes.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yes, I've also made
It's a lot of fun that you were so nervous about bringing him on, and it turns out to be someone that I've been on programs with. I don't even remember. It was a few years ago we were talking about, what was I covering? It was some homicide, right?
Many, many years ago.
Okay. I don't remember which homicide. I cover homicides. I mean, I used to. I don't anymore. I don't want to. I'm trying to find a more peaceful existence.
Yeah, I have since left the United States, left
Where
the shores.
are you?
I live in Thailand.
I'm so impressed. I have a friend there. He makes movies. He works.
Yeah?
He works for. He makes movies.
Thailand is an interesting place.
He's a close friend of my partner, my business partner, John McEwen, who's the father of the owner of I See Stars and these wonderful programs, videos for children, educational videos for children.
Now, Thailand is not an ASEAN country, though.
I'm sorry, what does that mean?
You don't know, do you?
You don't know what an ASEAN country is?
No.
No, I have no idea.
What? Oh, my goodness.
He doesn't have to know everything. He knows a lot of other stuff.
I'm just kidding. We learned it tonight.
Well, most of the nonsense that these two know, you can fill your head with in about 20 minutes. And forget even quicker.
That's why you listen every day. You're one of our biggest fans.
No,
I have to tell you, I didn't know that they were doing a show. I was fitfully not sleeping. I'm still tired. I probably should sleep again. But I like to listen.
I'm so happy to hear you again. I'm really touched.
I'm happy I can make you happy. Listen, I was listening to a podcast. Now, I have and you may agree with me on this. I have a problem with these Spreaker podcasters calling what they do a show. And most of these things I don't consider a show. Let me tell you what I consider a show. I listen to Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast. That's a show. There's a podcast out there with a podcaster who does nothing but interview people who got their break on the Johnny Carson show. And they talk about Johnny Carson. That's a show. I don't know that some of these podcasts where they just talk, I don't think that that's a show.
It doesn't have to be a show. It can be conversation.
Who are you decide what's entertaining or not?
We're having a conversation.
That's what it is. But it ought not to be called a show. We ought to call it what it is. There was
doesn't matter.
There was a movie.
Tomatoes.
Well, not really. There was a movie called Into the Wild. Did you see it?
I don't remember.
That's the one where the young kid who just graduates college. It was directed by what's his name? Madonna's.
Sean Penn.
What was it?
It was Sean Penn. Sean Penn.
In fact, I just saw that.
Sean Penn.
Was it Sean Penn or her husband Richie?
No, I just said Sean Penn 3 times. He's apparently not listening.
Okay.
But Into the Wild was a story about this kid who got rid of all his money, got rid of his car, became a hobo, eventually made his way up into Alaska, found himself a bus to live in the middle of nowhere, lived throughout the winter, and then ended up dying in the bus because he misread a plant when he was out of food and poisoned himself. But he had a thing that he kept saying that everything should have a proper name.
Okay.
I don't think that show is a proper name for what they do.
Okay, we'll call it conversation then.
Ambling conversation sometimes.
Who decides what's entertainment? Are you God?
You showed up, I'm glad you showed up. But what we were talking about, and I want to refocus.
Yes.
Is we were talking about digital assets.
For Mr. Midnight Movie to say something, I guess that was a mistake.
Yeah.
Well, isn't everything a digital asset when you come right down to it? The money you have in the bank.
No.
The money you have in the bank is a digital asset.
Absolutely. But we're speaking about a specific format, which is called BCR, Bankcoin Reserve, and we're using it in Hong Kong as BCR at W for Wyeth, WYITH.edu, where we're basically offering 500 graduate degree tuitions, and we're allowing the students to pay their own incidentals.
If I could just clarify too, the question wasn't if it was an asset or not, but whether or not it's a currency. So
no, it's not. No, it's not. It's not a currency.
Is it a store of value?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And where does one buy it?
Actually, until the United States gives permission for it to be used and accepted in a cryptocurrency exchange in the U.S., we don't buy it because we don't sell it. We're following American law and paying all the taxes, and until they give us the blessing and they say, they sanction us and say, give us what I call the blessing, we're not selling. It's just not operating in the U.S. It's operating in Mexico City. It's hugely operating in Hong Kong and the ASEAN states.
Nothing stops me.
Superb.
And I'm not living in the jurisdiction of the United States.
That's right. Come to think of it, are you an American citizen still?
Of course.
All right. So then we have to find out what the procedure is for that, so that we follow the law and don't jeopardize your position.
Oh, I would never. I wouldn't even worry about it. I will tell you this: had I been given had I made a better choice in life, I would not be here in Thailand.
Oh.
I would not be in the United States either.
Where do you want to be?
I would have sold everything and bought a sailboat and lived nowhere.
Okay. You know who just did that? I'll tell you. Who just did that? John McAfee. He just did exactly that.
Well, McAfee, now the boys have something in common with McAfee. I won't go into that in detail, but McAfee, that's where the
sick man. We've already gone through this.
Yes, and that's where the similarities end, of course. But McAfee is an interesting character, and he's in good health. I'm not in such good health that I could.
What's going on with your health?
Well, unlike Mr. Midnight Movie, I have diabetes as well. Mm-hmm. I on the other hand don't poison myself as Mr. Midnight Movie does.
I have, but in my defense, right now I've been eating healthy. Yeah. I've been eating healthy, by the way.
Tell me what you ate today, quickly.
I had a pizza with
Stop.
Cauliflower. Cauliflower crust, dude.
Who made this pizza?
California Pizza Kitchen. Okay, it's a little bit off topic, but it's California Pizza Kitchen. I'm just saying that, and I'm fasting.
It's a great.
Well, wait a second. Have you looked at the ingredients or the breakdown of?
Oh, of course not. There's probably a lot of salt in it. Go on. Can we?
Oh no. And listen, salt is not important.
Mm-hmm.
What's important for him and what's important for me are carbs.
Well, there's no carbs. Not going to be much carbs in that, I would imagine.
It depends how they made it. I don't know how they made it. A lot of these companies will put out a product and they'll say, well, yeah, this is low carb. And their idea of low carb is nowhere near what it should be.
Well, correct. You are kind of being misled. The only way to do it is to do it by hand. But look, not exactly the only way, but
we didn't hear the rest of what he ate. What else did he eat?
You're splitting hairs. I'm not.
I had a thing of pork.
Uh-huh.
And
how was that pork cooked?
It was a Thai restaurant that brought it to me.
It was a Thai restaurant. So I'm dubious already, and I realize that we are veering off the rails. I just want you to keep in your mind that scene from why am I forgetting all this stuff? And I stopped.
Get on with it, Joe.
I stopped taking my statin drugs. I should be remembering all this stuff. I have made a shocking discovery.
What is it?
Because I have cut out all the carbs in the last 2 weeks. All the carbs.
And, what's happened?
Well, it's impossible to cut them all out, but you can cut them down to a bare minimum where you're only getting, hopefully, less than 10 or 12 carbs a day. And that's not a lot.
That's ideal. That's great.
Right. But here's what I have discovered.
Mm-hmm.
My pulse rate has gone from 59 to 49.
What do we say?
I'm sorry?
He's a showstopper, so ignore him. How about that? We get that on top.
Well, my pulse dropped 10 beats. Now, it's never done that. It's consistently been 59, 60 all day long, even when I sleep.
Keeping the beat.
And now that I've cut the carbs out completely, I find that my pulse rate went down 10 points.
That's amazing.
And I had a conversation last night with a friend of mine. She used to be my doctor. She's still a physician. And she thinks that it might have something to do because she's doing the same thing, the same kind of eating. And she said that it might have to do with the fact that you're taxing your liver less.
Wow.
By cutting out the carbs. But I've never had such a dramatic change in those numbers so quickly.
Well, I'm thrilled with that.
I am too.
I wanted to add lots of years to your life.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. I may do that fasting thing where I may try and I'm going to try and reverse the diabetes. But I want to just go touch Mr. Midnight Movie quickly.
Yes.
And now that he's told me that he had this pork in the Thai restaurant, I just want to know, what kind of sauce was that pork in?
I ordered. I don't need. You know what?
This is where we go off the rails.
What's wrong with you?
This is where the cart goes completely off the rails.
His brain is in 10 places already, and you're asking him these ridiculous.
I'm asking him about food. That's one thing he can think about any time of the day.
Well, it was. I ordered it from. Let me look here. I ordered it from Grubhub, and
yes.
Let me look here. And tell
me what it is. Yeah, let's hear it.
It was. let me look what I ordered here. Let me see if I have my order.
Oh yes, please.
Yes. I ordered Thai pork, tender pork, sliced pork marinated in garlic Thai sauce and grilled in a Thai barbecue style. So, garlic sauce,
Yes.
Thank you. I'm being
How much sugar do you think was in that barbecued pork?
I don't know. It didn't say. It didn't give me an estimate.
Give me an idea of what you thought.
You know what? I think very limited because my blood sugar was pretty good. All right, can we get back to the topic at hand here?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyways, I was talking to you about Starlight Productions. That's the company that has all these wonderful things together.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're talking about countries, the clientele, I'd like you to see where they're playing so that you can see how wonderful this is. It's all over the world. It's just wonderful. Let me get back to your website. Here it is. Here's a link to where all the clients are, so you can see where these videos are playing. We're talking about Brazil, Berlin, Newcastle, United Kingdom, Tallahassee, Florida, Germany, Amarillo, Texas, the Discovery Dome in Europe, the Planetarium, Edelman Planetarium in Glassboro, New Jersey, Greece, Reno, Nevada. I'm not going to keep reading the list because it's too long, but I put the link in the conversation area so that anybody can go see the clients and see all the different locations. What did you notice?
I said I noticed the links. They are in our chat room. If you go to our chat room, you can see, I think there's 3 or 4 different links to the places where that you're talking about.
Yeah, I just posted it.
So are you of the mind that the dollar is set to collapse, Ruthie?
No, it's not a matter of collapsing. It's just that if we were, the simplest analogy is a fellow's going over to some island, and the currency of that island are shells, regular shells that you find on the beach. So he's not taking all sorts of American Express money orders. He's taking suitcases and suitcases filled with shells. And when he gets there, he is the richest man on that island because that's their currency. That's what they use. The dollar bill is nothing more than a token. In early United States, different banks from different parts of the country issued their own currency. So the Bank of Philadelphia had its own currency, and so did the ones from California. Chicago, Illinois, same thing.
That's true.
They're just coupons, like S&H stamps.
Well, they're a little bit more than coupons.
But currency is whatever 2 people agree on.
Well, but
last week I signed my real estate contract.
But I think the problem with our currency is that the people aren't told what it really is, so they have a hard time agreeing what it is.
It's a coupon. It doesn't matter what they call it.
It's a debt instrument.
It doesn't matter. Most are. Most instruments are.
Well, is Bankcoin a debt instrument?
Bankcoin.
No, not Bitcoin.
I said Bankcoin.
Yeah.
We applied it to education, and we gave it value. And then we had applied it to education for children in the form of the portable planetariums. By the way, at the Space Congress, when we appear on June 6th, we're going to be having Colonel David Brenner represent Bankcoin Reserve at the Space Congress on June 6th. And when that happens, our dog and pony that we'll have on the floor in our booth will be a portable planetarium, a small one, so that people can see what it looks like. And we'll be playing videos there all the time.
Where does the planetarium come into all this?
Because of STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The Portable Planetarium teaches a portion of STEM education in the form of technology and science, because we're teaching about the planets and astronomy and the universe and satellites, and we're teaching about the space stations and the different countries that are participating. Yesterday, another rocket went off from the United States, from Florida, from Brevard County, and it was the Israeli rocket. And that's the fourth country. It's just fascinating to see things develop, and cryptocurrencies and digital assets are now involved in anything that requires security and safety, and it's just a beautiful thing to watch things develop.
So do you think my physical gold is safe?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what I'm holding right now.
Good. Hold it. I find that people that have one particular cryptocurrency and they're in a particular part of the world, they think that's, of course they want the whole world to accept that. It doesn't happen that way. Cryptocurrencies some make it to the back rooms where retail stores want to move money quickly between one of their stores and another.
Did I just hear Sweden has gone to a cryptocurrency?
Look at Mexico. They're dealing with the corruption there by
No. I'm saying Sweden has adopted their own cryptocurrency.
Yes, many countries are using them all over the place.
And in
Florida, Hillsborough County is accepting cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and Ethereum, I believe, for taxes.
Yeah, but I thought that Bitcoin had become so difficult and so expensive to do any transaction, especially a small one.
It still has a good reputation. It still has a nice, clean reputation. And
I'm not saying that the reputation is not good. I'm saying that the costs, because of the growth that it had, are now too much to use it to buy a fan, for example, or
yesterday they were saying it cost in one transaction it cost to about $500,000 to make a $25 transaction. So there are still glitches like that they're still working on, of course. But anyway, we quietly and very respectfully keep promoting. And every time something like that happens, we say, well, please consider Bankcoin Reserve. We have a stable price. We hold on to our stable price.
Well, but isn't that what people do when one coin outlives its usefulness, like Bitcoin, that they go to something else?
Yeah. We noticed how all the coins were very exciting, and they all went up to near almost 20,000. Then they all came crashing down. And we stayed firm right where we were, 1375.
Well, how long has this been around?
About 9 years, 10 years.
Bankcoin Reserve has been around for 9 years?
Yes.
So, and who's behind this? You?
Oh, I'm one of the many people. I'm not alone.
Because as I said before, money, the dollar, is really nothing more than numbers in computers. Mm-hmm. The only difference being that there's no blockchain. There's no way to know how much is being printed. You can't see it.
I just added the list of the patents. They're very interesting.
So that brings up a question that I have, because that's been a concern of mine for all of these cryptocurrencies, and that is that you read all the time of them being hacked, of people being locked out of their funds. What is this? What is this one that we just heard of, where whoever was behind it, it was run from a laptop. Guy died and took his password with him, and now they've got people that are out of millions of dollars in value because of it.
Something similar happened to Einsteinium just a couple months ago. I actually had owned a little bit, not enough to make much of a difference in anybody's life, but all of a sudden one day I had my Einsteinium. The next day I think it was called not 5150, but there's a term where 51% of ownership became some random miner, and they took it over, and my Einsteinium were gone overnight.
Right, and that's the problem I have with a lot of this. I even thought that Ethereum was fairly well protected, and now we're finding out that it's not. That
listen to me.
That's gone.
When I was a kid, listen to me.
$20 per. So it's taken a massive hit in just 12 months.
Listen to me. When I was a kid, my grandmother swore she would never, ever handle her money with a person, a machine, or an envelope. She wanted a teller, the teller to take an ink pen and write in there how much money she had deposited and add the sum. And that was her. That's how she rolled. And she wouldn't accept anything. And she was like, she wanted to be a suffragette. She quiet about everything, and all of a sudden she wants to go march, by the bank. And there's a picture of I was with her, so my grandmother and myself, and she's protesting these. They've got the ATM on the outside of the bank. She's very upset with it, and she'll never use that because she will only work with a human. How dare you offer me a machine? And then I have another picture 10 years later, and she's banking at the ATM, the same one she protested 10 years before. And I wanted the picture taken right there because I remember we had one of her protesting it, and then there she was using it. When the automobile came out, people who were building buggies and men who raised horses for horse and buggy operations were very upset with the automobile. And Ford would come out, and all the time he'd say, "The automobile is my folly, but the horse is forever." Oh! People would yell and scream and roar. And he did that everywhere he went. People were satisfied. Oh, at least he's not going to kill our business. And at the time, when many people didn't gas their cars, they would hook their automobile to their horse and buggy, and the horse would be pulling the buggy and the car behind it. And they did that for years all over this country until they finally started working in, driving the car, putting gas in the car.
And here's my difficulty with a lot of these cryptocurrencies.
Yes.
If you recall when the internet started and we had dial-up, I know you recall it, but if you recall when the internet started and we had dial-up, and before we even had fast modems, we were using things such as CompuServe and bulletin boards. And most of those bulletin boards were run by teenagers out of their basement. And as they got more money in, they made real businesses out of some of these things, some of them. But the point that I'm making here is that some of these cryptocurrencies, you don't know who's behind them. You don't know that the guy who's dead now and it had a laptop, just one laptop, that he lost. Well, he took the password with him. His wife doesn't know it. He didn't keep it in something like LastPass and set up a system so in case he died, his wife could get into it. He didn't do that. But now there's people that are out millions of dollars. So if you sunk all your money into this guy's exchange, what do you tell those people?
I don't have to tell them anything. I know people who decided that it's cute when their little children walk around the house with bobby pins and stick them into electrical sockets. I'm not the police. I don't have to be concerned with every foolish thing does, and I'm certainly not going to come up with an excuse for it.
Well,
that's a choice they made.
And you cannot.
I would like to stay away from how Mr. Midnight Movie grew up, which explains a lot. But what I'm saying to you is that you think that you're investing in something that has some substance behind it, and when it all shakes out, it's just an old man who's almost dead running his exchange on a laptop. And he's got millions of dollars of people's money tied up electronically in his blockchain.
That was one case.
Oh, no, it's not one case. There's a lot of cases of like that around. There's a lot of cases of fraud.
Of course, there's fraud. And oh, come on. There's no fraud with money?
Well, that's a whole different kind of fraud.
It's the same thing. Fraud is fraud. We can always come up with an exception in any business. There's always an exception to the rule.
And there'll always be a what if.
Exactly.
I'm not
responsible for all.
I'm not
I'm not responsible for that.
Yeah, I'm just saying that.
What about? What if this and what if that? It's not our fault and it's not our concern and it's not our responsibility.
Oh, it's a concern to me. It's a concern to me. Coinbase.
You're highly intelligent. I know that you're not going to be one of those foolish people that invests in one person and one person alone. I know that you're not. So I don't worry about you.
I have my own crypto keys. I forget the name of the ones that make them, where you can store them on a key and not keep them in the blockchain, so to speak. So, but Coinbase, for example, you know who Coinbase is.
Yes, but I'm not discussing Coinbase tonight because Coinbase.
No, I understand that. But what I'm trying to say to you is, one day a friend of mine, we went looking. Actually, we went doxing Coinbase, and we found out that Coinbase was and I don't know where it is now. But the question is, if you've got money in Coinbase, I would ask you, where is Coinbase? Can you drive there? Is there a place where this business exists? Because they were traced. I traced them down to a address, I think in San Francisco, and it was a P.O. box. They never had an office. They didn't have a storefront. They were running out of a P.O. box. And the point is that I don't know where. When push came to shove, we looked at it and we asked ourselves, well, if I had to tell somebody where they physically were, I couldn't, because I don't know.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up.
And that's a very big exchange. A lot of people
I understand, but I am not talking about them tonight. I'm only talking about Bankcoin Reserve, and in particular, Bankcoin Reserve at Wyeth. And that's really important.
I have to ask this question.
Because don't interrupt me. You just said brick and mortar. You were concerned because those places were basically in a post office box instead of a location. And I agree with that. I think that's a very, very good point. And I wanted to let you know that if you go to wyeth.edu, that's wyith.edu, and you click the button that says contact, you are going to find photographs and full addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, everything of our 4 offices. We just got a 5th one in Nepal. And let me get that for you, because if you go to the bottom of the page, you will see that those offices are there. And here they are. I just put them in the conversation box.
And that's a good thing.
See that? The first one, and not only are they identified by locale, they're also photographed, and you can find them on Google Earth. They are real places, and they each have their own address. We have offices that we've had for more than 20 years. The first is Hong Kong. The second is in the Philippines. The third is in United Kingdom, about 3 in London, 3 blocks away from the business district. And the 4th is in France. And the 5th is in Nepal, which is not on this page yet.
The point that I was making was that you should know
well, you were saying,
putting your money.
Well, you were saying that you're concerned about businesses that are actually inside a post office box and not an actual office.
No, that wasn't my point. No, that wasn't my point. My point
What was your point?
I don't know where they are.
Okay, well, I'm telling you
I don't
where
even know today. I know you did. I don't know today if I could tell you where Coinbase is.
Okay, but today, listen to me. Today, I'm only speaking about Bankcoin Reserve and Wyatt. And I'm glad you said that about the fact that some places identify themselves, and when you drill down to find out where they are, they turn out to be a post office box at some packing station. Well, we are a real brick and mortar business.
Or they turn out to be a laptop in somebody's.
I agree, in someone's basement. But we are not, and there you are. Can you see the address? Can you see the?
Well, I don't want to listen. I don't want to disparage basements. I think the laptop was probably in this man's den, but
it could be. But anyway,
he dropped dead with the password. It's probably a really simple.
It's too bad. And it's too bad that happened, but because you brought up post office boxes, I wanted you to confirm that you can see the offices. Can you see them?
Well, it's not, seeing them on a website is not exactly what I would call doxing them, but
you can go there. Okay, you can go there and see if those are real.
And that's a good thing.
Anyway, the phone numbers are right there, and you can see that they're not duplicate Google numbers or anything like that. They are real numbers in real places, in real countries.
All my numbers are Google numbers. I don't know about you, but I like my Google numbers.
I'm just letting you know that I'm talking about not digital assets or cryptocurrencies in general. I'm only talking about Bankcoin Reserve at Wyeth Institute, because it pays for graduate degrees, and we're adding more graduate degrees in different fields, not just education, but different fields.
Now, are you paying the boys any money for doing this show, just for keeping everything out on the thing?
Not a dime.
Yes.
Not even a coin.
Not even a coin, no.
Yes. Now, yeah. Okay. So, and like Ruthie has stated before, it is a stable currency or a stable form of cryptocurrency. So it doesn't go too far up or too far down. It basically stays
where it is.
Yes.
It doesn't go anywhere. It stays where it is. $1,375.
Yeah.
And I imagine that's what the Swedes are going to do when they convert over to a blockchain type currency.
Many countries are doing that because it's just so much easier. It gets rid of it eliminates, pushes, corruption right out of the way. And it works.
But it doesn't take the government out of their lives.
Well, not everybody wants to get the government out of their lives.
I haven't met too many like that.
Okay, well, I enjoy the government and I enjoy my independence. I enjoy both.
By the way, I'm just curious to why we haven't. Not with currency, but why we haven't like banks don't use thumbprints or eye scans.
Sure they do. They do.
But they don't use them. Why can't I go to an ATM?
No, you're stop.
Yeah.
You're speaking like a typical American. You think that because you haven't experienced
That's what he is.
Here in the United States, that since it doesn't happen here in the States, it must not be happening.
Is it happening?
I've gone through airports around the world where I've had to scan my thumb, my iris, sometimes both.
I have good news for Mr. Midnight Movie.
Yes.
My friend has the patent on the lick box.
There we go. Now, but let me ask you this.
That takes a tongue imprint. Apparently, no tongue is the same.
Yeah.
Like a fingerprint, but you can't really fake it.
But is there a thumb or an iris for say the ATM? Say if you lose your wallet, do they have a thumb iris or a thumb or the iris of the eye? Do they have that in other countries?
I believe Mr. Midnight Movie that lick boxes are going to be all the rage.
All right. Well, so they I got to look that up because that's something and I don't know why they haven't implemented that in the United States.
It's interesting when when you leave the United States, once you arrive at another airport, anywhere, just about anywhere, it's beautiful and clean and modern. And it's very depressing when you come back home to the American airports. It's heartbreaking. It's the difference between riding the bullet train in Japan and then getting on the number 2 train in Manhattan.
Why is that, by the way?
We haven't been spending any money in our infrastructure and our public transportation and things of that nature. So we have old train systems and old tunnels that we haven't brought to state-of-the-art conditions like they have in Japan. If you're going to build something, you're not going to build an old-fashioned kind. You're going to build the latest state-of-the-art available trains and airports. They're just. I just came back from Australia and I was in the bathroom. I took a picture of it. There was the shower. You could take a shower at the airport. It's wonderful.
Well,
and we don't have that here.
Well, and I wonder if it's due to the part of our bureaucracy and the fact that we value multiculturalism over meritocracy, which the Asian countries are much more about meritocracy over multiculturalism.
I'm not sure. I find that half my friends are liberals, the other half are conservatives. I make sure that when I if you want to throw a dinner party, you should not have them all there at the same time because the conversation will get horrific. So in order to continue loving them and relatives too, in order to love them and continue a good relationship with them, I actually don't discuss anything controversial.
So you protect them. You protect your friends and relatives.
I protected you, didn't I?
I don't know when.
When you got into arguments years ago, when you and I were on the air, and we got into arguments, and people didn't. They couldn't see your vision because they couldn't go that far. They were so in their box, they couldn't go out, and they couldn't go further. And I had to stand firm and defend you several times because they couldn't. It took them another, oh, no, I get it. It took them another 20 minutes. But instead of saying, I'm limited, I don't get it yet, they would instead fight what they didn't know because people fear what they don't know. So they fight it.
And with that being said, I do have to get to bed.
Is that right?
Yes. So is there anything?
Is that the end of your show, Mr. Midnight?
This I think will be the end of our show. Ruthie, do you have
recognized it as a show? Thank you.
Yes, there we go.
Well, I know what a show is. And you don't rise to that level, but it's a habit.
Yes.
Oh, listen to me. We're still all here in the United States. You're the one who took off to Thailand, so knock it off.
Yeah, but by the way, Ruthie, do you have anything to add before I
how
end
do
the
you
show?
know I'm in Thailand?
Oh, stop it! Thank you.
We don't know. That's just what you said. We have no way of knowing.
Absolutely.
You could have.
You could be a
been
liar.
lying. We don't know.
Yeah.
Only one angry Jew would ask that kind of question.
That's why he should be caned, like they do in Singapore. Ruthie, do you have anything to add?
How do you know I'm in Thailand?
Ruthie, do you?
Yes. What I'd like to say is, I would like you all to go, and I think it would be a wonderful thing for you. I'd like you all to go. Just a moment. Let me get this so that I get the right page. I'd like you all to go and visit that website. Go there. Just go there. It'll be good.
Check out the website.
And sign up and
Which
sign up and get right
Which
there.
website are we talking about?
I just
put it in the show page. Guys,
it's right there. Thank you so much.
Everyone, review it for yourself, examine it for yourself, and see if this is something you want to put within your portfolio. Just, examine it for yourself and make your own decision. Okay? And that's all I got to say. Hey, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and, pleasant tomorrow.
Oh, Willie, how cute.
Willie's the best.
Well, folks, this is the best show on Blog Talk and the best show on the internet. Shut up! Nobody, and I mean nobody, tackles issues like inflammatory talk.